Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? So I wanted to talk about something that has kind of been buzzing a lot lately, really this year, you know, the last couple of years. Exhibition boxing. This has been a huge topic as of late, especially since Mike Tyson and Roy Jones came on and, you know, did a very, very successful night of pay-per-view boxing. I believe they went over 1 million views. It was very, very successful, and the whole event was entertaining. I love the way they put that whole thing together on Triller. So they did their thing, man. And then you got to look in before that. There was the Logan Paul and KSI fight. And then, you know, the two YouTubers. And then, you know, you had Jake Paul do his thing. He had already fought twice. Well, he had already fought, and then he fought again versus Nate Robinson, former NBA All-Star, on the undercard of the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight. So the exhibition thing has been growing and growing and growing. And also Floyd Mayweather, he went over in Japan and had an exhibition fight. And people have been calling for Floyd to fight exhibition fights. You know, people have been offering him deals to fight exhibition fights ever since then, because he still has a name and a growing popularity, and people still demand to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. perform, whether it be a real fight versus a seasoned veteran or an experienced boxer, or some guy off the street who never fought in his life, but he has a name. You know what I'm saying? And you can sell the actual matchup. You can sell the drama of the whole thing. You know, this is kind of a conflicting topic, because on one hand, as a hardcore boxing fan, you like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to see these amateurs fight. I don't want to see, you know, these guys being praised more than actual boxers that and put in the work, that been doing this shit their whole life. Seeing these guys get paid more than fighters who, you know, strive their whole life to become a champion, probably never got a title opportunity, or they got a few different title opportunities and they ended up losing every one of them. Like, just guys that put they blood, sweat, and tears and just hard work and determination into the sport of boxing, and they do this shit for real. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of tough watching these guys who have no boxing experience just come up, you know, come in the game, and just off of their name alone, they getting paid more, they getting more love, you know what I'm saying? They getting, you know, just more of the limelight on them. And that's the sucky part as a hardcore boxing fan who really follow the sport and really, you know, appreciate just the foundational level of pure boxing, just the skill of it all, you know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I also can understand where a guy like Logan Paul or Jake Paul or KSI or Nate Robinson, any of these guys coming in that's saying, look, I got a name. If people are willing to pay to watch me on this stage, why the fuck not? Why would I turn that down? You know what I'm saying? And then also there's an entertainment factor as well. I don't really hate on it that much, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this is something that could possibly grow the sport. I really want y'all take on this. I think that this is something that could actually grow the sport. And boxing wouldn't be the only sport. Like I said, I posted in a community post, exhibition fights has been around forever. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing all type of exhibition fights, you know. It's been all type of celebrity. You know, you remember when Shaquille O'Neal had a fight versus, who was that? Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit has been going on since forever, but I think it could be good for boxing. I think it can grow the sport, get more eyes on the sport. I think it can make the sport more popular. You look at basketball. We all know that the NBA is the creme de la creme, the top shelf, the best of the best on the planet. We all know that, right? But then they also have leagues overseas. You know, remember they had the And1, you know, you had And1 mixtapes. You feel me? You got guys that you got the Drew League, you got the D League, you got people, amateurs all over playing the game of basketball. You know, you got guys on YouTube who are trying to get into the NBA that they're putting their highlight tapes on YouTube and stuff like that. And I mean, this is basketball. I mean, boxing isn't the only sport where amateurs like to compete and then get paid for it. If you look at, you know, football, you got all type of different leagues. You know, I don't think boxing should be exempt from amateurs wanting to put on the gloves and perform. And if people are willing to pay for that, then hey, that's all fine and dandy. I don't think it hurts the integrity of boxing. I believe that makes the actual hardcore foundation of boxing, it make them have to step their game up. You know, because if you got to compete with Jake Paul. Now you got to compete with KSI and Logan Paul and Mike Tyson if he want to keep on fighting exhibition matches. And now you got to compete with Floyd Mayweather if he want to continue to fight exhibition matches. It make boxing level their game up. And that's good. That's good. Like I said, it could grow the sport and it could put more eyes on the sport, and it can make these guys really try to come up with a way to keep the limelight on them, whether that be making big fights sooner, like Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, Canelo Alvarez versus Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? All the big fights that people want to see, Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. All the fights that people want to see that's been getting stalled out and shit like that. Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. The fights that people want to see that get stalled out for so long because of business and the politics and all of the dirty shit that go on in the sport of boxing. Maybe this can have these guys speed up their time clock and understand, like, bro, you ain't really got no time to pussyfoot around, because these guys over here getting straight to it and they getting to the money, you know? And I just think, like I said, man, I feel like this could only, there may be a little part of it that waters the sport down, but I think this helps the sport a whole hell of a lot more than it does hurt the sport. Because again, I can give you countless examples of how, you know, other sports still thrive where there's an amateur level of guys that, you know, they still, you know, they got their own league, or you got guys that have been able to play on a professional level. May not be, let's say for basketball, again, use that example because that's a good one. It's a very, very popular sport with a broad, it's a whole lot of different levels when it comes to basketball, even professional. NBA ain't the only professional basketball league. You got it's a whole, anytime, if you getting paid to play, you are a professional. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? You may not be on the highest level of it, but you getting paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with boxing. That don't mean Logan Paul is more of a professional or more of a boxer than, you know, an actual boxer just because he's getting paid more. He's just getting paid to fight on his level. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it, man. I really want y'all take. I want to know how y'all truly feel about this. Do you feel like the whole exhibition idea is ruining the sport of boxing? Or are you kind of like me? You feel like this really gonna help the sport more than it does hurt the sport? And one idea I wanted to throw out there, imagine all these rappers and shit, you know what I'm saying, that be talking hella gangster in their songs, you know what I'm saying? Or you got these other athletes like NBA players or NFL players that, you know, get into scuffles and shit on the floor or on the field or whatever, and they talk all crazy, but now you have a league or you have a platform for you to settle that shit in the ring like men. mano a mano, you feel me? You feel me? Like, really settle that shit. Like, and you seeing big names, big celebrities, famous people that you like, damn, I wonder if they can fight. I wonder what they fight game really like. You know what I'm saying? All this woofing that they be doing, I wonder if they really about that shit. And I think this shit can humble a lot of motherfuckers, but it's also going to be a lot of money that could be made too. And it's going to make the sport more popular. But I want to know what y'all think, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Contender regime, boxing, I'll holler at y'all boys, man.